Welcome back to Motivation Speech by Myron Golden. Life isn't always kind. Some days it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on your chest. But here's the truth. Happiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you create even when life feels impossible. Happiness is often misunderstood as something that happens to us only when life is good, when everything is in place, and when challenges are nowhere in sight. Many people believe it is the result of perfect circumstances, the dream job, the ideal relationship, financial security, or a peaceful environment. While these things can certainly make life easier and more enjoyable, they are not the root source of lasting happiness. The truth is, happiness is a choice, not a condition. It is a mindset, a perspective, and a daily decision to focus on what uplifts you rather than what drags you down. When we tie our happiness to conditions, we put ourselves at the mercy of external events we cannot always control. If your happiness depends on other people's behavior, the state of the economy, or the weather, you will find yourself in an emotional roller coaster that never truly settles. There will always be factors outside your influence. But when you choose happiness from within, you reclaim the power that many unknowingly give away. It becomes an act of taking control over your inner world, no matter how chaotic the outer world may be. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending challenges don't exist. It means deciding not to let those challenges consume you. Imagine standing in a storm with no umbrella. You can either stand frozen, focusing only on how wet and uncomfortable you are, or you can look for shelter, remind yourself the rain will pass, and maybe even dance in it. The rain is still there, but your experience of it changes because your perspective changes. That's the same principle with happiness. It's not about removing the storm. It's about learning how to carry your own sunshine through it. This choice becomes even more critical during difficult times. When life feels heavy, when you're surrounded by negativity, or when circumstances seem unfair, it's tempting to sink into hopelessness. But that is precisely the moment when choosing happiness matters most. It's a form of resistance against the pull of despair. It's saying, I refuse to let this situation take away my peace. You may not feel joyful every moment, but choosing happiness sets you on a path toward emotional recovery rather than emotional collapse. Think about how people in the same situation can have completely different outlooks. Two individuals might lose their job on the same day. One becomes consumed with anger, resentment, and fear, while the other feels the loss but also sees it as an opportunity to start something new. The difference lies in mindset. The external condition is identical, but the internal choice is not. That choice, the decision to focus on possibilities rather than obstacles, determines who moves forward and who gets stuck. Happiness as a choice also involves training your mind. Just like building physical strength requires regular exercise, building emotional resilience requires conscious practice. At first, it might feel unnatural to choose a positive perspective when life throws you curveballs. But over time, it becomes a habit. You start to notice small blessings more easily. You bounce back from setbacks faster, and you handle stress with greater calm. This doesn't mean you'll never feel sadness, anger, or disappointment. Those are normal human emotions, but it means those emotions won't dictate the overall tone of your life. The beauty of this principle is that it is available to everyone, regardless of background, resources, or circumstances. You don't need wealth, fame, or perfect health to decide to see the good in a day. You don't need the approval of others to choose to smile. And you certainly don't need a perfect life to find reasons to be grateful. This choice is yours alone, and it can be made at any time, in any place, under any condition. The hard times are often seen as periods we simply have to survive until something better comes along. But in reality, they hold the potential to shape us in ways that easy times never could. When life feels comfortable, we may enjoy the moment, but comfort rarely forces us to stretch, adapt, or discover the depths of our own strength. It's in the moments of uncertainty, loss, and struggle that our resilience is tested. And it is through these tests that resilience grows. Resilience isn't something we are simply born with in a fixed amount. It is a skill and a quality that can be developed, strengthened, and deepened through experience, especially difficult experiences. Think about how metal is forged. It goes through extreme heat, pressure, and shaping before it becomes strong enough to withstand almost anything. Human resilience is forged in much the same way. When we are placed in situations where the easy way out is not available, where we must adapt or crumble, we begin to build an inner strength that cannot be taught in theory alone. The lessons of resilience come from living through hardship, from waking up day after day and deciding to keep going even when the path is unclear. These moments of struggle often reveal parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. It's easy to assume we know our limits, but challenges have a way of proving that our limits are far greater than we imagined. Someone who loses everything might discover they have the resourcefulness to rebuild their life from scratch. Someone who faces heartbreak might learn they are capable of loving again, even deeper than before. In these ways, hardship becomes both a teacher and a mirror, showing us who we are and who we can become. It's important to recognize that resilience doesn't mean being unaffected by pain. People who are resilient still feel sadness, frustration, and fear. They still experience moments of doubt and exhaustion. What sets them apart is not the absence of negative emotions, but the ability to move through them without losing sight of hope. Resilience is the steady voice inside that says, "This is hard, but I will find a way through." It's a combination of persistence, adaptability, and belief that something better is possible even when the present moment feels unbearable. Hard times also push us to develop problem-solving skills we may not have otherwise needed. When resources are limited, when plans fall apart, when the usual solutions fail, we are forced to think creatively, to explore new paths, and to embrace flexibility. These problem-solving abilities often stay with us long after the difficulty has passed, making us better equipped to handle future challenges with more confidence and less panic. In this way, resilience becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The more we overcome, the more we trust ourselves to overcome again. There is also a deep sense of perspective that comes from enduring challenges. Once you've gone through a major hardship, smaller problems often feel less overwhelming. The deadlines, inconveniences, and minor setbacks that once triggered stress may lose their power over you because you've faced something far more significant and survived. This shift in perspective can make life feel more manageable overall. Even if the external circumstances haven't dramatically improved, it's not that life becomes easier. It's that you become stronger. Finally, resilience built in hard times often inspires others. When people see someone who has endured difficulties yet continues to live with strength and determination, it serves as a reminder that endurance is possible. Your story of overcoming becomes a source of hope for others still in the middle of their storms. And in this way, resilience not only transforms you, but also becomes a gift to those around you. Small actions might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but when it comes to shaping your emotional state, they are far more powerful than they appear. Many people wait for a massive change to improve their happiness, a new job, a major life event, or a breakthrough moment. While big changes can certainly shift your mood, the reality is that long-term emotional well-being is built from the ground up through repeated small intentional actions. These little steps compound over time, gradually lifting your mental and emotional state until it becomes second nature to feel lighter, more hopeful, and more engaged with life. One of the most effective small actions is practicing gratitude. Writing down 3 things you're thankful for each day may seem simple, but over time it changes how your brain perceives the world. Instead of automatically scanning for problems, you begin to notice moments of beauty, kindness, and connection that might have otherwise passed you by. This shift in focus doesn't eliminate life's challenges, but it does train your mind to balance them with the positives that coexist alongside them. The more you look for good things, the more you find them, and this steady diet of appreciation feeds your happiness in a sustainable way. Another small yet powerful action is physical movement. You don't have to run marathons or spend hours in the gym to experience the benefits. Even a short walk, some gentle stretching, or a few minutes of dancing in your living room can trigger the release of endorphins, which naturally boost your mood. Moving your body also interrupts cycles of overthinking and gives your mind a reset, making it easier to approach your day with clarity and optimism. Over time, incorporating physical movement into your routine can become a reliable tool for lifting yourself out of mental fog or emotional heaviness. Acts of kindness, whether toward others or yourself, also create ripples of happiness. Sending a supportive message to a friend, offering a genuine compliment to a stranger, or doing something nice for yourself, like taking a break to enjoy a cup of tea without distractions, may seem minor, but these moments spark feelings of connection and self-worth. They remind you that you have the power to bring light into someone's day, including your own, and that power strengthens your sense of agency over your emotional state. Small actions can also take the form of mindful pauses throughout your day. Simply taking a few deep breaths, noticing your surroundings, and checking in with how you feel can break the momentum of stress and re-anchor you in the present moment. These pauses help you respond to life with intention rather than reacting out of habit. By consistently creating moments of stillness, you give your mind a chance to recover and reset, which in turn makes it easier to maintain a balanced mood even during challenging times. Building happiness through small actions is not about perfection or rigid discipline. It's about creating tiny, repeatable moments that gently nudge you toward a better mental space. The beauty of this approach is that it's accessible to everyone, no matter your circumstances. You don't need extra money, ideal conditions, or large amounts of time to take a deep breath, move your body for a few minutes, express gratitude, or perform a simple act of kindness. These actions might be easy to dismiss because of their size, but their power lies in their consistency. Like drops of water shaping a stone, these small efforts reshape your mindset over time, turning happiness from something you chase into something you quietly build day after day. Without even realizing how much stronger and lighter you have become, your mindset is the lens through which you experience life, and it has the power to shape your reality more than almost any external factor. Two people can face the same situation, yet their experiences can be completely different because of how they choose to think about it. When you focus your mind on problems, limitations, and fears, those things begin to dominate your perception, making life feel heavier and more overwhelming. On the other hand, when you train yourself to notice opportunities, solutions, and moments of beauty, those things become more visible, giving you a sense of possibility and control even in difficult circumstances. This shaping of reality through mindset is not about denying challenges or living in a fantasy. It's about understanding that your thoughts influence your feelings, and your feelings influence your actions. If you approach a setback with the belief that it's the end of the road, your motivation drops, and you're less likely to try again. But if you see that same setback as feedback or as a temporary obstacle, your mind remains open to solutions and your actions reflect that openness. Over time, these patterns create entirely different life outcomes for people who may have started with similar circumstances. The way you talk to yourself also plays a significant role in shaping your reality. Internal dialogue can either be a source of encouragement or a source of sabotage. If your self-talk is filled with criticism, doubt, and hopelessness, you start to see the world as a place that confirms those beliefs. But when you practice speaking to yourself with compassion, encouragement, and patience, you build a mental environment that supports resilience. This inner voice becomes a guide that helps you navigate challenges without losing sight of your own worth and capabilities. Mindset also shapes how you interpret uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and no one is free from moments of not knowing what comes next. A fear-based mindset sees uncertainty as a threat, something to be avoided at all costs, leading to anxiety and paralysis. A growth-oriented mindset views uncertainty as a space for learning and new opportunities, which reduces fear and increases curiosity. This doesn't mean you will enjoy every unknown situation, but it does mean you will face it with a calmer, more adaptive approach. Another way mindset shapes reality is in how you view failure. For many, failure is a sign to stop, a source of shame or proof that they are not capable. But for those who cultivate a constructive mindset, failure is a natural and necessary part of progress. They see it as information, a way to understand what doesn't work so they can adjust and try again. This perspective allows them to persist longer, learn faster, and ultimately achieve more than those who see failure as the end of the journey. Your mindset also affects the people and opportunities you attract into your life. A positive solution-focused outlook tends to draw on others who share similar energy, creating supportive relationships and environments that reinforce your chosen perspective. On the other hand, a mindset rooted in constant negativity or cynicism often repels opportunities and pushes away people who might otherwise offer encouragement and collaboration. This creates a feedback loop where your mindset not only shapes how you see the world, but also the kind of world that responds to you. Even in moments when you cannot change your circumstances immediately, you can still choose the mindset you bring to them. That choice determines whether you feel powerless or empowered, whether you give up or keep going. Whether you see life as something happening to you or something you are actively shaping with every thought and action you allow to take root in your mind, being kind to yourself during difficult times is not a luxury. It is a necessity for emotional survival and growth. Many people are quick to extend compassion to friends, family, or even strangers who are struggling, yet they deny themselves the same understanding and patience. This lack of self-compassion can deepen feelings of failure, hopelessness, and inadequacy, making it even harder to recover from hardship. Self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same care and respect you would offer someone you truly value. It means recognizing that you are human, that mistakes and setbacks are part of the human experience, and that you are worthy of kindness even when you are at your lowest. When life becomes overwhelming, it's common to engage in harsh self-criticism. People tell themselves they should be stronger, that they are weak for feeling upset, or that they are somehow to blame for every difficulty they face. While self-reflection can be useful, constant self-judgment drains emotional energy and prevents healing. Self-compassion, on the other hand, creates space for growth by removing the unnecessary weight of shame. It allows you to acknowledge your struggles without defining yourself by them, making it easier to find solutions and take the next step forward. One of the core elements of self-compassion is self-awareness. This means paying attention to your thoughts and emotions without immediately labeling them as good or bad. If you feel sadness, frustration, or fear, self-compassion allows you to accept those feelings as valid rather than pushing them away or pretending they don't exist. By allowing yourself to feel without judgment, you prevent emotions from building up and manifesting in destructive ways. This acceptance also helps you understand what you truly need in the moment, whether it's rest, reassurance, or a change in perspective. Another important aspect is speaking to yourself in a supportive tone. This might sound simple, but it can be one of the hardest habits to develop, especially for those who have spent years criticizing themselves. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you might tell yourself, "This is hard, but I'm doing my best." That subtle shift in language changes how your mind processes the challenge in front of you. Over time, encouraging self-talk becomes second nature, helping you build resilience and maintain hope during difficult periods. Self-compassion also involves setting realistic expectations for yourself. When you are under stress or going through hardship, your capacity to perform at your highest level may be limited, and that is completely normal. Expecting yourself to function at full capacity during emotionally draining situations only increases feelings of frustration. By adjusting your expectations and giving yourself permission to move at a pace that feels manageable, you reduce unnecessary pressure and create an environment where you can heal without guilt. Taking care of your physical needs is another form of self-compassion. Sleep, nutrition, and movement are often neglected during stressful times, yet they directly impact mood and mental clarity. Even small efforts to eat nourishing meals, get fresh air, or rest when your body asks for it can have a significant effect on how you cope with challenges. By listening to and honoring your body's needs, you reinforce the message that you matter and that your well-being is worth protecting. Finally, self-compassion is about recognizing that you are not alone in your struggles. Everyone experiences pain, disappointment, and loss in some form. Remembering this can help you feel less isolated and more connected to the shared human experience. When you allow yourself the same grace you would give to others, you begin to cultivate a healthier, more balanced relationship with yourself, one that supports you not only in moments of success, but also when life feels unbearably heavy. Pushing yourself to be happy is often misunderstood as ignoring pain or pretending that everything is fine when it isn't. In reality, it's about making an active choice to seek light while still acknowledging the presence of darkness. Life will inevitably bring moments of loss, disappointment, and uncertainty, and in those times, it's natural to feel sadness, frustration, or fear. Denying those emotions does not make them disappear. In fact, it can cause them to grow stronger beneath the surface. The real strength lies in allowing yourself to feel what you feel while also taking intentional steps towards something brighter, even if it's only a small step at first. This balance between acceptance and action is what makes the process powerful. Acceptance means recognizing that pain is part of the human experience, that there is nothing wrong with you for feeling it, and that it's okay to grieve, to rest, or to pause. But alongside that acceptance comes the decision not to stay permanently in that space. Choosing happiness in hard times is not a denial of reality. It's an act of defiance against the idea that your circumstances should dictate the entirety of your emotional state. One way to push yourself toward happiness while acknowledging pain is to create small moments of joy within the difficulty. These moments might not erase the hardship, but they can make it more bearable. Listening to music you love, spending time with a supportive friend, watching something that makes you laugh, or simply sitting in the sun for a few minutes can provide a sense of relief and remind you that life still holds beauty even in the middle of struggle. These little sparks can give you the energy to keep moving forward. Another important aspect is reframing your focus. In hard times, it's easy for your attention to become consumed by what's going wrong. While it's important to be aware of the challenges you face, deliberately shifting part of your focus to what is still good, stable, or hopeful in your life can help balance your perspective. This doesn't mean pretending the pain isn't real. It means giving equal attention to the parts of your life that can still nourish you. Over time, this habit of balanced focus can help you navigate adversity without feeling completely overwhelmed by it. Taking action, even when you don't feel like it, is another way to push yourself toward happiness. Action creates momentum, and momentum can help lift you out of emotional stagnation. This action doesn't need to be dramatic. It can be as small as making your bed, going for a short walk, or reaching out to someone you trust. The point is not to force yourself into instant happiness, but to gently guide yourself toward a state where happiness becomes more accessible. Equally important is surrounding yourself with influences that support your decision to seek light. The people you interact with, the media you consume, and the environments you spend time in can all affect your mood. Choosing to be around positivity, inspiration, and kindness can make it easier to maintain your resolve, especially on days when your own energy feels low. Even when circumstances are challenging, being in a space that fosters hope can help you hold on to your determination. Pushing yourself to be happy during hard times is also about remembering that emotions are not permanent. Pain may feel endless in the moment, but it shifts over time. By taking small, consistent steps toward joy, you give yourself a bridge between the darkness of the present and the possibility of a brighter future. This steady effort to keep seeking light, even while acknowledging the shadows, is what transforms the act of pushing yourself from a forced performance into a genuine commitment to your own well-being.